And did he talk about 9/11?
Yeah, he said that that 9/11 was necessary, that although he didn't think that there would be such a massive loss of life, his view was that 9/11 rather was supposed to be a wake-up call to the United States. It wasn't supposed to be something that so shook the United States that it led the U.S. to attack al-Qaeda's bases in Afghanistan. In previous attacks, the USS Cole, the embassy bombings in East Africa, the U.S. government responded with missile strikes against alleged al-Qaeda sites. And they truly believed that that's how we were going to respond to September 11th. They didn't think that there would be an all-out attack.
So they didn't anticipate the death toll being so large?
They didn't. They didn't think the buildings would collapse.
And
that's what he told me.
As you began to talk to him, was time of the essence? Did you feel you had to get him to talk?
Yes, because in the beginning, while, like I say, he was friendly and he was willing to talk about philosophy, he was unwilling to give us any actionable intelligence.
And what, in your mind, was your way you were going to get him to give that up?
We had a group of folks at the agency who were trained in what have been reported in the press to be called enhanced techniques. I came back to the United States, to headquarters, to move on to a different job, but we had these trained interrogators who were sent to his location to use the enhanced techniques as necessary to get him to open up and to report some threat information.
And can you describe them?
In generalities, I suppose I can say that my understanding is that what's been reported in the press has been correct, in that these enhanced techniques included everything from what was called an attention shake, where you grab the person by the lapels and shake them, all the way up to the other end, which was waterboarding.
And that was one of the techniques?
Waterboarding was one of the techniques, yes.
And was it used on Zubaydah?
It was.
And was it successful?
It was.
What happened as a result of that?
He resisted. He was able to withstand the waterboarding for quite some time, and by that I mean probably 30, 35 seconds.
That's quite some time.
Which was quite some time. And a short time afterwards, in the next day or so, he told his interrogator that Allah had visited him in his cell during the night and told him to cooperate because his cooperation would make it easier on the other brothers who had been captured. And from that day on, he answered every question just like I'm sitting here speaking to you.
In a willing way?
In a willing way.
So in your view, the waterboarding broke him?
I think it did, yes.
And did it make a difference in terms of...
It did. The threat information that he provided disrupted a number of attacks, maybe dozens of attacks.
No doubt about that? That's
no
not
doubt.
Some hype?
No, no question. No question. The reporting, I remember reading the reporting, and it was dramatic when it first started coming in. Now, of course, a lot of that was time sensitive. So after a period of time, he wasn't able to provide any real actionable information, any information that you could use to disrupt an attack. But what he was able to provide was information on the al-Qaeda leadership. For example, if bin Laden were to do X, who would be the person to undertake such an operation? Oh, logically, that would be Mr. Y. And we were able to use that information to kind of get an idea of how al-Qaeda operated, how it came about conceptualizing its operations, and how it went about tasking different cells with carrying out operations.